Hello everyone, hope you're all doing well. Welcome to today's webinar on the topic Guardians of Truth Exposing Influence Warfare in the Information Era, led by our trainer and cybersecurity analyst Rutuja Hulavle. The rising trend in influence warfare continued to angle upwards, and as a result, it is important to improve digital literacy, enhance online security, and promote transparency in information dissemination. So, with any further ado, I request Rutuja Olavle to kindly take over. Over to you, Rutuja.
Yeah, thank you, Pratik. Good afternoon, everyone. So, as Pratik told us that today's topic is Guardians of Truth, exposing influence warfare in the information era. So, the agenda for today's topic will be, as the term is new for everyone, influence warfare. First, we'll see what is influence warfare, how, with the help of communication, the influence warfare or cognitive warfare is taking place. What are the tactics people are using for spreading this influence warfare, and how we as a common users using the social media platform, different social media platform to spread this influence warfare unknowingly, and what kind of influence warfare is happening in an India, and what is the impact of this on our society, and how to mitigate or how to counter this influence warfare with the different techniques. So before proceed to direct the term or the concept of influence warfare, first we'll see the evolution of communication. So as we know that communication is a fundamental aspect of human interaction and plays very crucial role to in conveying the messages, building relationships, and sharing knowledge, coordinating with the different actions. So before the development part or before the digitalization, spoken languages or humans communicated primarily through the non-verbal ways, such as some sort of facial expressions, some gestures, or body language and vocalization. So this were the normal, or we can say non-verbal signals, which conveyed different emotions, intentions, and basic information. So as a human, the cognitive abilities develop. So they use a different symbols to represent the objects, concepts, and different ideas. So this paved the way for a symbolic communication through different kinds of cave paintings, carvings, another form of visual representation, where they can use these types of forms and they can convey their messages, they can convey the information, whatever they want to do. To that, early in the 21st century, witnessed the digital revolution with the invention of computers, internet, and mobile communication devices. So, this technologies transform the communication into a highly interactive and interconnected experience, allowing a different people to communicate, share the information, and collaborate across the globe in real time. So later on, nowadays, the rise of social media platforms and online communication channels has further transformed how people connect, share, and interact with each other. So these platforms are basically enable individual and groups to communicate, to collaborate, basically to express themselves in a new and dynamic ways. So as we are going to discuss the influence warfare, communication is the integral part of it. Like initially in the earlier stage of communication, as I told you, we were using the sign languages. After that, we started using the paintings. Then later on, we started using a letter. We used to send a letters to each other to convey our messages. Later on, we came up with the telephone. Then we were having the email facility. But in that also, there was some restrictions. In the initial stage of email, there was some restriction of words. But today, there is a no limitation on sharing the information. On a social media, there is a continuous and limitless communication is going on. So people are getting connected without any boundaries. There is no restrictions, there is no limitations for the communication. Like you can have communication from one to another country, from India to US, US to some another country. In this way, people are getting connected. So people to people communication is of course there, but nowadays there is a things to things communication is also happening. That is nothing but IoT devices. So like our ACs are connected to Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi's are connected to many smart devices in our home, in our offices. So that means things to things communication is also going on nowadays. And there is a people to thing communication. For example, can take an order and can perform an action according to that. So that means communication is expanding in a different way that not only people are connected, but also things are getting connected to each other and we are having a different sort of communication. So as we are having a lots of communication as we move towards the digitalization, the amount of data generation is also increasing. You can see on the left side, there is a data generated in zettabytes and the years are given from 2010 to 2025. Predictable 2025 data is there. So this graph shows the data generated in 2010 and 2025. And you can see this is increasing order in a very large manner. So for example, in a late 90s, we used letters to communicate and very rarely we have the digital equipments. But now our society or every detail and communication are available digitally and we are continuously increasing the data size. So these are some predictions of 2024 and 2025 that the data can reach up to 200 zettabytes. And of course, as we are moving forward, the new devices are taking place, the new technologies are introducing. So according to that, we are of course increasing the data size also. So increasing data, it's having of course positive side as well as negative side also. In a positive side, if we can talk about, we can utilize this data for the analysis purpose, for the prediction purpose, or for artificial intelligence. But in the same side, we have to also handle the privacy of this data. So there are, of course, some drawbacks. Okay. If we see this diagram, this is nothing but a 1 minute, every minute on internet on 2023. That means now in 2023 year, we are spending it within a 1 minute, we are doing this much activity on an internet. Within 1 minute, ChatGPT, which is a new artificial intelligence bot we are introduced with, in that almost 22,831 visits are happening within a 60 seconds. 241.2 million emails are getting sent within 1 second, 1 minute. 18.8 million text messages are sent. 2.4 million Google searches are there happening within a 1 minute. 69400 video hours are viewed. 7.47 million snaps are getting created. Instagram, which is nowadays very trending, 10.4 million viewing minutes within a 1 minute is happening. So like this on a Twitter, on a Teams, if we talk about a Teams, 11,834 chats are happening within a 1 minute on a Microsoft Teams. So that means if we conclude all these things, after the lockdown, due to the lockdown, there is an increase in the internet uses because of every lectures and schools and colleges were online. Because of that, the Teams and Zoom calls have been increased. There are many OTT platforms uses are increased, rise in social media network. Artificial intelligence is also the part nowadays. So that means if within a 1 minute, this much data is getting processed, imagine how much data we are going to create within next 1 year or within next 2 years. And this is entirely because of whatever communication, online communication we are doing. There is a one statement by Reliance Industries chairman Mukesh Ambani made a very strong pitch on the protection of Indian users' data back in 2019, and his statement was basically compared the data to the oil. He said that in the new world, data is the new oil, and data is the new wealth. So that means how much importance the data is, how much important the data and the communication we are doing on a daily basis on a different social media platform is. So this is how it shows this diagrams and the data generation so rapidly it is increasing. This entire thing shows that how the information exchange happens very quickly. In today's world, we can share our thoughts, we can share our ideas, any knowledge or any emergency type of information very fast between the different countries also, which is of course increasing 24/7 connectivity. And this is the best part, of course. But what is more important over here is that how people are reacting on it. This is the main important part of today's discussion. How people are reacting on the information, how people are reacting on the news, this can affect the think and act, which can be very important for an individual, also for groups, even for the whole country. If we talk about the fast transmission of the data, here I would like to give one best example. What is the benefit of fast transmission if we talk about? So in currently in February 2023, Turkey Syria earthquake happened. So it just devastated both the countries. And under the operation of those, India had sent around 7 crore of relief material to both Syria and Turkey. And also Indian Army prepared its rescue teams with relief materials within 12 hours after a disaster struck. India was the first country to help this earthquake hit Turkey. So this is of course a positive side. That means, see, you can send a help within a 12 hours to someone. So this is a positive side of the fast information exchange, but it also has the negative side, which this faster communication use as a weapon against any country, like to create a rats to spread misleading information about any political party, about any country, or about an individual also. And the spreading this misinformation or disinformation or misleading information to anybody about anyone, that is nothing but influence warfare. So here we will see how the influence warfare can done by using a different platforms. Using, of course, a digital platforms. Digital platforms means what? Whatever articles, whatever blogs we are reading, whatever survey reports we are checking, all these are nothing but the digital platforms where you are searching for some sort of data, where you are searching for some sort of news. And then there are social media platforms. Of course, everyone is using in an what we can say in a very large manner. So social media will include Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, WhatsApp, Telegram. Daily we are receiving lots of messages, lots of news, and easily without any verification, we are having trust on these things. We used to, like, we are sending this messages or we are forwarding this messages into the group, we are putting it on our status and on our story everywhere. There is no verification in this. In the Instagram, there is some reels of 15 to 20 seconds, and within that reel, someone is trying to show you one place, someone is trying to give the review of one place or one restaurant. So within 20 seconds or within 30 seconds, you cannot see entire truth or entire things about that place. What is shown to you, that is the best part about that place, and you will blindly trust on it. So that is nothing but what influence warfare. It is not something which starts from very higher level, very from the country level, or it's from the nation level only. It can be start from your Instagram account. It can be start from your Facebook account, wherever you are reading or daily multiple things. So this online communication, this different platforms are used to spread the different narratives. They are trying to manipulate your opinions. They are trying to manipulate your brain. We are not thinking on this news. We are not doing any kind of cross check. We are not doing any kind of verification for this. Warfare. This can target the vulnerable audience. See, whatever audience nowadays we are having who are using these devices, mobile communication devices, or few other devices for the communication purpose, all this audience are divided into basically three groups, majorly three groups. One is a old age group, like senior citizens. This senior citizens are like they introduced with this mobile devices into their 30s and 40s age. So they are not aware about, okay, there is something which will be fraud. There is something which will be suspicious. We should not click on this link, nothing. They are just aware, okay, we have received some message and I need to forward it. Whatever they will see in their mobile, in their WhatsApp, they feel like this is a true information and they will forward it. Or they will click on any link, they will click on any message, whatever they are receiving. This is one audience we are having in our place. Next is the generation like 20 and 30 age, in the middle of 20 and 30. They introduced to the phone at the age of 15th age. So they know how to use it. They know the what is wrong, what is right, what to send, what to not, but they don't have a proper guidance. What type of cyber crimes we are facing nowadays, what kinds of frauds, online payment frauds, KYC frauds are happening nowadays. Not everyone is aware about it. Even though they know, they are aware about how to use these devices. And the very targeted audience is nothing but teenagers. So these teenagers, basically by doing some psychological manipulations on these teenagers, they are trying to involve them in some sort of games where there will be some sexual content included. And by taking the advantage of their involvement, further they'll exploit the further things. So more vulnerable are teenagers and senior citizens. So these are the digitally uneducated people, and this influence warfare or this influence or the cognitive influence is working more on this audience. Nowadays, the biggest influence is advertisement. Everyone is watching the different product advertisement, everything, and we just believe that whatever content or whatever data, whatever information they are giving about any product, that is true, without any kind of verification over there. So with the fake news, propaganda, this advertisement is one of the very good example of the influence or cognitive influence nowadays. Now, as I told you, I have given one basic information about influence warfare. So the influence warfare is nothing but the information which refers to a data that has been proceed or organized or contextually there is something meaningful in that, making it useful and relevant for understanding or decision making. So this information can be accurate and reliable, serving as a one type of foundation for informed decision making, for any kind of research, for education, for communication purpose. This is a plain definition of information we can say. When we talk about a disinformation, there are separate terms, disinformation and misinformation. Disinformation is what? this is nothing but refers to very deliberately false or misleading information that is spread with the intent to deceive or misinform or manipulate or to create any kind of confusion. So it is a form of misinformation that is intentionally created and disseminated to promote a particular agenda. Agenda motive can be anything. Promote a particular ideology or to achieve specific goals. So this disinformation often exploits people's trust in the information sources and their willingness to believe or share the information without verifying its accuracy. That means suppose you have there is one YouTube channel or there is one news channel and it's very old channel and you have like complete blind trust on that channel. And if that channel is publishing some video on any bomb blast or on any earthquake or any scenario, then what you will think, okay, this is published by the trustworthy source. So this is a legitimate. You don't have to verify it, but it can have harmful consequences, including the public trust or polarizing the different communities or influencing the elections, contributing to the spread of false narratives. So the impact will be a different, depends upon how you trust and uh, how you are going to handle or how you are going to take action on the particular information. So this influence warfare operations are targeting on a different angles. What are the major angles? Psychological, informational, and economic measures. If we talk about the psychological means what? There are some emotions which are there inside us. Fear emotions, uh, panic emotions, lots of emotions are present inside us. So this psychological involves the targeting the psychological and emotional aspects of the population or the leadership. Now, what kind of techniques may include into this, like spreading a disinformation, propaganda, and manipulating any type of perceptions to create some confusion about any topic, some confusion about uh, any case or any scenario. Okay, mistrust, fear. So, if we talk about the emotional aspect, again there are three types of audience which I have mentioned before. According to the senior citizens and the teenagers and the group of people who are in the age of 20 to 25 to 30. So for the senior citizens, some sort of support or some sort of concern they required from someone because of the loneliness. So they will target on that feeling. In the teenagers, the more attractive things are the sexual contents. So they will target on that. They will create such a games and they will involve them into that games and then further things. In the 25 to 30, money is the most important factor for all of us. So by manipulating something or by giving some sort of offers, they will try to target on the psychology of these people. So this is the dangerous influence out of all the types. So if you want to take an example about any organization, let's imagine there are two, not organization, there are two countries. For example, country A initiates a psychological measure by spreading a fear among the citizens of country B. So they create a fake news stories about an impending economic crisis using dramatic language and fabricated some quotes from well-known economists. So this creates anxiety and uncertainty among the population. Next is informational. Informational, this aspect focused on controlling or manipulating the information flows. So it includes basically spreading of false or misleading information through the various channels like social media, news outlets, other communication platforms are there. So the goal is to shape the narrative in a way that benefits the initiator of the influence operations. And last is, if we try to take an example for the informational, for example, there are two countries, and country A funds a website and blogs that publish bias articles and misleading information about the country B, then accusing them of corruption and like incompetence. So this information, or we can call it as a disinformation campaign, is designed to basically erode the trust in country B's government and create a internal divisions. So they create a forged documents and fabricated stories to support these claims. So this is also happening nowadays. Economic measures, uh, economic tools, this can be basically used to apply the pressure or to induce certain behaviors, like economic sanctions are there, trade restrictions are there, financial some incentives. So this can be employed to weaken an adversary's economy or push them to change their policies. So country A launches a economic campaign by imposing trade restrictions on certain goods, like that country B is heavily relies on for its economy. So this will lead to the economy instability and public, of course, dissatisfaction. So these are the few ways where we are targeting uh, on a different audience. Now, what are the tactics we are using in the influence warfare? First is propaganda. Propaganda is something that involves the dissemination of bias or some misleading information to influence the public opinion or to shape perception, like there is some event is happening, and if they want to give one kind of perception, they want to create one kind of opinion about that event, then they will try to create images, try to create a videos, or they will edit the videos, they will edit the images in a such a way that there will be one shape for that event. And this is happening in most of the event nowadays. If you can see the political issues which are going on currently everywhere. So everything is shaped. Everyone is trying to uh, execute their propaganda, we can say. So in influence warfare, propaganda can be used to promote a specific agenda. Or if they want to promote any kind of ideology, if they want to promote any kind of political party, if they want to promote any country or any group within that country. So, for example, if country A spreads false claims about a country B intentions in an territorial dispute, so framing country B as an aggressor in order to rally its own citizens and international allies against a country B. The best example for this, Pakistan's reaction on Article 370. Disinformation is, of course, refers to intentionally false or misleading information that is spread to deceive or manipulate the people. So it aims to undetermined credibility, and which creates a lot of confusion in the audience mind. Economic coercion. Economic coercion, of course, involves using a different kinds of economic measures, like some sanctions, trade restrictions, so to influence another country's behavior or policies by creating a financial pressures. The best example for this, US imposed sanctions on India after the nuclear test. US also sanctions on Iran after 26/11 attack. US also sanctioned on Russia after Ukraine crisis. So these are some examples of economic coercion. Social media manipulation is, of course, there with the fake photos, bots, paid trolls to spread some messages, amplify certain content, influence online conversions. So this is, of course, present over there as we are having a lots of platforms. So manipulation will be, of course, present over there. Astroturfing is basically nothing but creating one sort of grassroots movements or public support to give the impression of genuine popular opinion. Deepfakes. Deepfakes are nothing but manipulated or fabricated videos that are used by artificial intelligence to create a lifelike but false content. It will look very original, it will look very legitimate, but yes, they are done by the artificial intelligence, or some sort of morphing are used in that. And very important is echo chambers. Echo chambers are nothing but a one type of online environments where people are exposed mainly for the opinions and information that basically reinforce their existing beliefs and preventing them from like considering the alternative viewpoints. Information laundering, which involves taking false or misleading information and passing it through the seemingly reputable sources to make it appear credible. And selective editing, which is happening nowadays most of the time. Selective editing means what? There is some video about any event, and they will edit that video on whatever they want to show, whatever agenda, whatever propaganda they want to set. Only that part will be disclosed, or that part will be published to you. So selective editing basically involves some manipulating content by removing context or altering it to the distorted narratives. Here, I would like to show you one video, which is basically uh, there was a war in 2022 between Russia and Ukraine. Everyone is aware about that. So before actual war starts, there was some cyber conflicts between Russia and Ukraine. It involves the different types of attacks, like Russia have performed the website defacement on Ukraine. There was many DDoS attack which was performed against the Ukraine government sites and banks. There was one SMS propaganda campaign also they have performed. Also, free civilian leaks the Ukraine database. And the major part out of the cyber conflict is that Ukraine military was receiving continuously the threatening SMS text from the Russia. And it is said, it is mentioned that the Russian military, Russian Ministry of Home Affairs, Ministry of Defense, also the many intelligence services like JRU, SVR, FSB, they were also involved in all these kinds of influence. And there was one video published after this war. So in that video, they have claimed like there are some military soldiers which are dead by the Russian government in the war. And you can see this video carefully. So you can see in this way, they are trying to manipulate. This is just a one example of one video where they have first they create one scenario like all the soldiers are dead, and later on nothing was like that. So this is the one example how you can have, if I just edit that video and if I just show you the first part of that video, then of course everyone will have trust on that. But in the last few seconds of that video, you can see all the soldiers are okay, fine, and they can stand up and walk. So this is how the manipulation with the different media nowadays are happening. Now, what are the goals? What are the goals for this influence warfare. Why the community, or why the different countries are, why the different channels are trying to spread this influence warfare? First is undetermining trust. That means this undetermining trust involves the one type of confidence in institutions or leaders or information sources to create doubt and confusion. For example, like as I told you, you are having some trusted sources. There are lots of food bloggers. There are lots of reputed news channels. For famous celebrities are there who are basically we can blindly trust on them. And if this people, or if this organization, this institute are spreading some sort of information, or what we can say, promoting any type of products, then we can easily have trust on this. So in the COVID era, by spreading of false rumors about the safety of vaccines, so there was an adversary aims to undetermine the public trust in an healthcare system and government, reducing the vaccine uptakes and of course the public health. There was also one news that when Geo was ready to launch the 5G. So it was there was some rumors like this 5G will because of the 5G frequency waves, it is impacting on the COVID and everything, or this is the root cause of the COVID and everything. So there are lots of things. Next is destabilization. Destabilization basically refers to creating such a conditions of instability and uncertainty within a target country, or we can say weakening its governance and societal cohesion. So example for this, if we want to take, very adversary supports and amplifies local protest, and they basically demonstrate to destabilize a government, causing a social unrest or weakening its authority. Okay. Discrediting opponents means this involves basically spoiling the reputation of individual or groups or organization to decrease their credibility and influence. Economic manipulation, like I have explained, this basically involved using economic measures to pressure a country into changing its policies or behaviors. Influencing international relations. This involves using a influence warfare to shape any kind of partnership or diplomatic decisions on the global stage. Creating confusion. This is the main motive. So creating confusion of about any type of information, or generating a high level of uncertainty to cloud decision making and perceptions. That is the main motto behind the influence warfare, and of course manipulating the policy decisions. Currently, the trending topic chat GPT, which we are now used to of it, and everyone is using it uh, for the professional work, for creating resumes, for writing down any types of codes, and for lots of things, for searching about any concept and everything. Here, whenever we are trying to retrieve some information from the chat GPT, and then suppose I'm searching about influence warfare on the chat GPT, and it will generate a very lengthy blog for me, and I can read from that. What is the verification in all that? There is no verification. You will blindly trust, okay, this is generated by chat GPT, this will be fine, and you will use that information. So here there is an important point is lack of fact checking. All the AI generated content, this can sometimes lack accurate information, and it relies on patterns, basically how it is going to generate information for you. If anyone have worked in the this bot generation and everything, that means the people are aware about that. So basically here we are using some sort of patterns, how it will generate information. It will search for some sort of articles. It will work on whatever patterns we have implemented into the chat GPT. So if the training data whatever we have mentioned, if it contains the inaccuracies or biases, then the AI model might unknowingly produce a different content that will spread a false information. So here is the one, what we can say, lack of fact checking is, of course, every time it is present. If we talk about a bias amplification, if the, let's say, training data which is used in the AI board, if it contains the biases, then the generated content could also be reflect and amplify those biases. So this can lead to the dissemination of the content that is one-sided or that is not according to the facts. If we talk about the unclear source, here in the AI generated content, here might not clearly indicate its origin or whether it was written by a human or by a machine. So this can make it difficult for readers to check the credibility and authenticity of the information. We are not checking the credibility of this information at all, whatever data we are getting from this chat GPT. So there will be manipulation of content. Malicious actors could use this AI generated content to create a very convincing disinformation campaigns, and by generating a large volumes of content that will align with a particular narrative. So they could convert the public opinion and basically manipulate any type of thinking. Limited contextual understanding means this bots, chat GPT, this artificial intelligence bots, these are having a lack of deep understanding about any context. So this can lead to the generation of content that is factually incorrect or misinterprets complex situations. So critical thinking is not present over there in that. And of course, lack of ethical consideration, not in every AI, but there are some AI models don't support or don't possess the ethical awareness and can eventually generate a content that violates ethical standards or principles. So here it is very important whenever you are gathering or whenever you are retrieving any kind of information from any platform, you will make sure that you will check its source, where you are taking from, and what is the basically provenance for that, what kind of authentication or what kind of authenticity we are having for that information. That is very important to check. Of course, user education is very important part into this. So educating the readers about the potential for AI generated content, this can help for all of us for more discerning consumers of information. And the very trending topic, that is social media, everyone is using it. So this is the biggest platform for the influence warfare. Nowadays, we are having Facebook accounts, Instagram, everywhere we are having accounts. And here there are, this is something which is very popular and easily accessible to users. Also, it is having a good user base available on it. Good user base means lots of followers, accounts, active users are there. So the user who is having a lots of accounts, we can say, okay, this is a legitimate one. And recently, Instagram have published one news that after paying something 600 to 700, we can get a blue tick. Blue tick is for what? Blue tick is for verification of that account. And if you can buy it, then what is the use of? So there are lots of things which are included into the social media. Influence warfare on a social media. What things are happening related to influence warfare? Trolling and harassment, which is the major part of the influence warfare. So this basically involves if someone is posting a inflammatory or offensive or disruptive content online to provoke any kind of emotional reactions and distract from meaningful discussions. So that is nothing but a troll or echo chambers. Echo chambers are nothing but once, like I have mentioned this in the previous slides also, these are the online spaces where people are exposed mainly for the opinions and informations. Okay. So, for example, if one group is spreading a bias information within one online community and that shares the same ideology, so further solidifying their views and making them very resistant to alternative perspective, that is nothing but your echo chambers. Fake accounts and bots. And bots can create a fake accounts. They can chat with you. They can spread a disinformation. They can create a illusion of widespread support on opposition. So if you are communicating with any person and you are not well aware about that person, you cannot say whether this is a bot or this is some person which is communicating. Disinformation campaigns. This basically involves these are the campaigns which involve spreading false and misleading information to deceive and manipulate any kind of public opinion. Like one state-sponsored operation disseminates a fake news articles, which claims that a neighboring country is planning and one sort of attack, creating a very panic and tensions between these two nations. Propaganda and narratives, of course. Information laundering, this involves taking a disinformation or fabricated content and giving it the appearance of legitimacy by passing it through reputable sources. So suppose if a fake news story is initially published on a one website and then shared by one mainstream media outlet, creating the illusion of one sort of credibility or spreading the false narrative. So these are the some ways false virals are of course there. So artificially promoting some content to make it appear and if it has gain organic popularity. So this is also happening for the most of the products nowadays. In India, what kind of influence warfare are nowadays happening are geopolitical objectives or political disruptions. That means uh, this is involved using the influence warfare to achieve a strategic advantage in one that global power for any kind of international relations. So suppose if country engages in covert influence operations to weaken the alliance between two nations, hoping that to create a one power vacuum that it can exploit to enhance its own regional influence, security concerns, religious and ethnic tensions. The very best example for religious and ethnic tensions is that this basically include one kind of act of violence by followers of one religion group against followers of another religion of group. So recently, there was one Bollywood movie which follows a group of women from one XYZ state of India only, who are cursed into converting to Islam and joining the ISIS, that is Islamic State, and of Iraq, Syria. So the film is premised on one Hindutva conference theory, that is love jihad. So the content, what is shown, the number of number of women, what is mentioned over there, no one is going to check the fact one kind of, that is also one kind of manipulation, that is also one kind of influence. Okay, this is going to happen in this state, or this is happening in this state. So yes, there may be some facts present in that movie, but the exact number was something else, and the number which is given in that movie, that was something different. So this is a religious and ethnic tension which they wants to create between these two religions. Security concerns are there, of course, to manipulate some sort of perceptions and polity or decisions that we need to check. Economic impact, of course, this everything will impact on economically on every country who is involved into this. Cultural and social divides will be there. Anti-government propaganda is anti-government propaganda. This basically uses to undetermine a government's credibility and legitimacy. So, for example, if one group spreads a very false allegations about corruptions within a government to destroy the public trust and encourages protest against the leadership, that is nothing but what? Anti-government propaganda. And India is uh, like we are in India, this is happening so frequently. Verifications, 5 pillars. how to verify this. Now, you must have got the sufficient idea about how the information warfare or cognitive warfare is happening. What to do with this? What are the verification pillars? So basically, it is divided into the 5 parts. Provenance. First is provenance. First, we need to check, are you looking at the original account? Are you looking at the original article or the piece of content? What is the source? Who have created the account? Who have created the particular article? Or what content is taken from what source? Or if it is captured, the original piece of content or not. The very, very important part in the verification is date, when it was created, when the particular image was captured. And I'll show you in the next slide, I'll show you a few examples for this. Suppose if you can see one photo of bomb blast in any news or in any video or any news channel on the day of bomb blast and after the bomb blast, and if you can find the same photo somewhere before the particular date, somewhere before the day of bomb blast, that means that it is a fake news or they are trying to influence with the previous proofs. Maybe the news will be true, maybe the news will be legitimate, but the proofs which are taken from the previous sources. This is very important to check the date of the source. Location, where was the particular account established, website created, or a piece of content captured. And the very important part is motivation. What that particular video or what that movie or what that image trying to convey the message. Why the particular account established. If you will observe it very properly and if you are aware about the environment, what is going on about the news and everything, you will come to know, okay, this is trying to deploy some sort of propaganda over here. So what is the motive? What is the motivation behind the website, behind the channel, on what to what political party, to what country they are trying to support? You can definitely come to know whether this is an influence or not. So what government is doing for this? Okay, if we are aware about all this fake news and everything is going there, what is the government action? There is a one agency, Press Information Bureau of the Government of India, which basically disseminate the information to the print and electronic media on government policies, programs, and different initiatives and any type of achievement. So this is, it functions between, or it is an interface between the government and media. So if any kind of information is getting disclosed by any channel, by any kind of platform, digital platform, by any kind of social media, that will be banned by this bureau. So recently, in the August month, they have banned 8 YouTube channels for spreading the fake news. They were quite good channels having a very like the subscribers in millions and more than some crores of views. They channels were like Yaha Sach Dekho, then Educational Dost, World Best News. These were the channels. Basically, World Best News were having a 1.7 millions of subscribers and more than 18 crores of views. And this found to be spreading the information about the Indian Army. So the fact checked by the Press Information Bureau for spreading the false news and they immediately banned it. There is a one latest ongoing, we can say, violence in Manipur, which resulted in almost 160 deaths. So this reportedly being fueled by the or spread the false news and rumors. So security agencies have revealed a significant role which is played by the misleading videos and fake pictures in inciting a violence between the Kukis and Meiteis communities which are present over there in the Manipur. So officials have also revealed that this is a fake news and there are some misleading videos have played a very significant roles in inciting this kinds of violence. Will be the impact of this on this society? Of course, manipulated perceptions will be there to shape how individual or group interpret the events and information. So by spreading a misleading information about a neighboring countries military activities, um, entity seeks to create a one type of perception of imminent threat. Heightened anxieties, international relations will be spoiled, threat to national security, economic disruptions will be there, polarization and erosion of trust will be present over there. Countering influence warfare. So here I'll show you few fake news images, how basically it is, they have created one fake news with these images. You can see this is a one news channel, Daily Pakistan, uh, from the dailypakistan.com. You can see they have released one article. At least 7 killed, 50 injured in devastating landslides in occupied Kashmir. And the date of this is 15th July 2018. And you can see their statement is at least 7 people were killed and more than 50 others injured Sunday after being hit by landslide in Indian controlled Kashmir. And you can see these are the two images, these are the two proofs they have given for this statement on a 15 July 2018. If we want to check this image credibility, image on some other document, that is this. This is a hindi.oneindia.com channel, news channel again. दिल्ली समेत देश के कई हिस्सों में भारी बारिश. So this is related to rain news, which is uploaded on July 11, 2015. Okay, you can see the difference in date. This is of a 2018. This is a 2015. And if we scroll down, see the same image. There is no difference between these two images. That means what? There is a one possibility that this image is taken from this source, or this both the images or both the news are fake. So here you have to find out the source of this image. So I found few sources for these images. And one of that source is this, oneindia.com. You can see. And if we go here, now we found this image. If I want to check for this, if we will just search Kashmir landslide, and if we'll go here, see, this is by Deccan Herald. Landslides kill 3 in Kashmir. Date is 20 April 2014. And see the image. This is exactly same this image. Entire part is same, exact same image is there. And this is uploaded on 2014. That means 4 years before this news. This is uploaded in 2018. So this you can do with the for the images, and there is one another app that is Invid. Here you can check for the videos. You can upload the videos and check for the whether it is the frames of the videos are taken from somewhere or not. Wait. See, here you can upload the any kind of video and we can check over here. Analysis part is there. Thumbnails we can put a Twitter search over here. Magnifiers, metadata if you want to search about what are the video rights, who is having the video rights for that content. You can do the forensic also. Keyframes also you can check. And in the analysis, we can have we can check with the video frames also. That means in some of the videos are merged. The one example, one video which I have shown to you about the Ukraine military soldiers. So that was the original video was different, and this video was merged in that video. So you can also check if for the one incident there are two videos or there are two images are attached. Then we can also check whether this are from a different sources or not. And currently, in 2023, in the August month only, there is one Bharatiya Nine Sanhita bill which was introduced by Home Minister Amit Shah. So this has been referred to standing committee for a review. And there is one provision under the section 195 which says that those who are spreading this fake news or misleading the information or having any sort of manipulation on the security of India, this shall be punished for up to 3 years in the prison. So here it is given the Facebook also having some sort of guidance where you can check for what kind of guidance it is providing to you to check for the false news. Be speculative for the headlines. False news stories often have catchy headlines. So those headlines who are having explanation mark, question mark at the end, that needs to be watched very carefully. Look closely at the link, investigate the source, which I have mentioned now. Watch out for an unusual formatting, which is a very best way. Formatting is not proper, misspellings, awkward layouts. So you have to read carefully all these signs. Consider the photos, inspect the date, check for the evidences, look at the other reports. Don't rely on just a single source. For one event, for one news, for one information, you have to check multiple 4 to 5 sources and then you can conclude your own thoughts. So is the story or joke? So this you can identify by checking the symbols or exclamation mark or the question mark. Some stories are intentionally false. Always remember that stories which spreads fast, that false stories are spreads very fast as compared to the legitimate news. So this is the conclusion while checking for any news, while checking for any data, for any information, you have to cross check it. You have to verify it with the source, with the date, with the locations. And then you have to make sure that whether this is someone is trying to influence you or this is a legitimate information. So I hope from this video, from this webinar, you guys will have some sort of awareness while operating the devices, while operating the different kinds of digital platforms. If any questions are there, then you can ask.
We have one question in chat box.
Okay. Where do Google, Microsoft, and others doing to stop this? I'm not getting the question. Can you just elaborate? Okay, so if there is no question, Pratik, can we wind up?
Yes, sure.
Hello.
We can wind up.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for the attending the seminar.
Thank you so much, Rutuja.
Thank you, Pratik. Thank you, Hemu.